How about goalie? How are we feeling? Aleksei Kolosov last night in a game that many thought was a tank game, in one that you put the guy in. Bradshaw said that he was going to get at least one start here down the stretch. Aleksei Kolosov allows 5 goals. Not exactly a great performance, but it was good enough. It was better than allowing 8. How do we feel about the guy that some people call Sexy Alexi, others call the Kolasov? How are you guys feeling about Kolosov and his did he do anything there, and to make a case to remain with this team next year, to perhaps gain interest in the trade market from other teams? What do you think about young Aleksei Kolosov?
No. Here's something for Aleksei Kolosov. The Flyers have not said this, and you probably won't hear about it until after the season's over, but they're not even going to send him back to the Phantoms to play in the playoffs. He's just going to go home. He's going to go back to Belarus.
Wow.
So, yeah. That it's just, I think that they gave him a game just to give him a game. They're paying the guy. Might as well let him play. What the hell's the difference? But yeah, he's going to go he's going to go home. I think this may have been the last time you see Kolasov.
Is there a possibility that another team takes a look at him and says, we'd give it a shot?
Sure, but it doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, I don't think that maybe, but you're not getting anything for him. Like if that's the case, if another team is going to take a chance, it's going to be for a bag of pucks. You're not going to get anything for him. Like it's not like you're going to get a great asset. Like he's a guy. If
you kind of replicate what happened at the start of the season, though, like where he's not here, he's over in Belarus, he's not at camp. There are a million different reasons. There are a million different things going on. Isn't the bag of pucks still more valuable than having a guy that you don't think has a future here?
What's the bag of pucks? Like you think it's going to be like even like a 7th round draft pick, and I have no idea. I'm telling you, it's not.
No clue.
I would tell you that if another team wanted to trade for Kolosov to take a chance on him, the best they would do is offer some minor league player who's going to play for the Phantoms because it's a veteran minor leaguer who can help young guys. That's what you're getting, right? That's the kind of trade value that he would have. He wouldn't have trade value for anything that's a real asset.
Do you think we're ever going to find out like what the deal is with this guy and with whatever happened this year? Because it's interesting, right? Like they decided to use their final recall this year to bring him back up. And then he plays this one game. It's probably the only one. It maybe hamstrung them from being able to like bring up another player they could actually get a look at.
No, that didn't hamstring anything, Russ. I'll tell you, that had more to do with getting him away from the Phantoms, who were trying to do something in the postseason, than it was to get another look at Kolosov.
Then why not just send him home?
So will he be back down with the Phantoms, though, Anthony, for the playoffs?
No, he's not going to be. The Flyers haven't announced this yet, but he's not going to be back. I would be utterly stunned if they come out and say, "Oh yeah, we're going to send him back down to the Phantoms, and he's going to play for them in the postseason."
I need video guy Amadeo to clip this.
Clip it.
Kolosov starts the Calder Cup finals.
I would be stunned. Stunned if that would be a change of thought from what's going on in that organization right now. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, and they're ready to let that problem just go away.
It is honestly
just make it disappear.
Go ahead, Bunny. What was that?
Just make it disappear as fast as possible. That's basically what Ant is saying.
There have been some really weird situations with this team in the past. There have been some really weird situations with prospects, with other players. What the hell? What's Johansson, right? Like they're still going through the arbitration. I think that's good. Like that was a weird thing that happened. It almost feels like this team, sometimes you look at like the wider, I think Wells Fargo Center needs to be torn down. Like I am 100%
Well, it's going to be.
No, but I'm 100% convinced that Wells Fargo Center needs to be torn down. They need to bring in like a priest, an imam, a rabbi, a Buddhist, like a monk. They need to bring in like a healer, a shaman, just like everybody just put it together, burn sage, like just do stuff at the site of Wells Fargo Center and just get any of the bad juju out. because between some of the shit that's happened in recent years with the Flyers was a lot of the shit that's happened in recent years with the Sixers, I am just now convinced that nothing good can happen in that building. Because this Kolasov thing, I think, among all of the weird things that have happened, remains one of the strangest things. And I think that, like, when we look back on this years from now, you know how, like, sometimes we look back at what season was it where they had 8 different goalies in the same season? Was that 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
It's longer than that.
Cal Pick, right? It was
4 years ago. Longer
Talbot
than
and
that.
Pickard,
5 years
and
ago.
right, they were all like the way that we kind of look back and then I go, oh, I think we're gonna look back at this season years from now and be like, oh, remember Aleksei Kolosov? Remember that was weird. You know, it's just a very strange storyline going around the team the entire year. So, oh, there we go. Video guy Amadeo, 2018-19, and Rory. Good job, gents. And how convinced are you now that the Flyers are going to go out after a free agent goalie? And
I
how
think
does
they-
that?
I think they
how's that
have to.
changed since the beginning of the year?
Look, I have no intel to say yes that's happening, but it has to. Like, they have to. They don't have the goalie in house. They want to be a more competitive team next year. They don't have that player here. They just don't. And so you could keep Sam Urson as your number 2 goalie, but you need somebody else to be able to play 50 games next season. And it may not be a sexy name that you're going to go after, but they're going to get an NHL veteran. They're going to bring a guy in who's played in this league, and they'll probably give him a 2-year deal or something, or 2 to 3 year deal at a decent salary. Again, salary cap's going up. So that's what they'll do. If they didn't, then you're going to have another year like you have this year. They have to. They have to go get a
they
goalie.
got to upgrade the goalie.